What if I told you that the man cleaning the floors in your office today could become richer than the people working in the corner offices? What if the person everyone ignored, the person nobody respected, ended up building a life most people only dream about? This is the story of Michael, a janitor who proved that success doesn't care about your job title. It only cares about your habits, your discipline, and your willingness to keep going when nobody believes in you. And by the end of this story, you might start looking at your own life differently. Michael worked as a janitor in a large office building in Chicago. Every morning, his alarm rang at 4:30 a.m. While the city was still asleep, he put on his blue uniform, tied his worn-out work shoes, and headed to work. He cleaned hallways, he emptied trash cans, he scrubbed bathrooms, he polished floors until they shined. Most people barely noticed him. Employees walked past him without making eye contact. Some didn't even know his name. To them, he was just the janitor. But Michael never complained. He greeted everyone with a smile. "Good morning. Have a wonderful day. Take care." Sometimes people ignored him. Sometimes they nodded politely. And sometimes they laughed behind his back. One afternoon, Michael overheard a group of co-workers talking. "Can you imagine cleaning floors for the rest of your life? I'd rather quit. That janitor probably has no dreams." They laughed. Michael heard every word. For a moment, it hurt. He looked down at the mop in his hands. Then he whispered to himself, "They don't know my story." You see, Michael had grown up in poverty. His father worked 2 jobs. His mother struggled to provide meals for the family. Money was always tight. As a child, Michael had made himself a promise. One day, he would build a better life, not only for himself, but for the family he hoped to have someday. However, life wasn't easy. College wasn't an option. Bills had to be paid. Responsibilities couldn't wait. So he took the first job he could find, a janitor. Many people would have accepted that as their final destination. Michael didn't. He saw it as a starting point. During lunch breaks, while others scrolled endlessly through their phones, Michael did something different. He listened to audiobooks, books about business, books about investing, books about successful people. He wrote notes in a small notebook he carried everywhere. Every lesson mattered. Every idea mattered. He believed that if he couldn't afford a university education, he could educate himself. Night after night, after finishing exhausting shifts, he sat at his small kitchen table. He studied personal finance. He learned about budgeting. He learned how money worked. He learned that wealthy people didn't simply earn money. They made money work for them. At first, the information felt overwhelming, but Michael kept learning. 1 page at a time, 1 chapter at a time, 1 habit at a time. His paycheck wasn't large. After paying rent and basic expenses, very little remained. Still, he made a decision. He would save something. Even if it was only $20. Every paycheck. No excuses. His friends laughed. "What difference will $20 make?" Michael smiled. It's not about the amount. It's about the habit. Weeks became months. Months became years. His savings slowly grew. Then he started investing. Carefully, patiently. He didn't chase shortcuts. He didn't gamble. He focused on consistency. But Michael didn't stop there. On weekends, he started cleaning houses. He offered affordable services. He arrived on time. He treated customers with respect. He paid attention to details. People noticed. They recommended him to friends. Friends recommended him to neighbors. Slowly, his side hustle grew. Soon, weekends became fully booked. Michael was tired. There were days when his body ached. Days when he wanted to quit. Days when sleep sounded better than ambition. But every time he thought about giving up, he remembered his promise. A better life. A different future. He kept going. Years passed. Michael hired his first employee, then another, then another. His cleaning side hustle became a real business. He wasn't just cleaning anymore. He was managing schedules, training employees, building systems, solving problems. His investments continued growing quietly in the background. The same discipline he used to mop floors now helped him build wealth. The same consistency, the same work ethic. Nothing changed except the size of the opportunities. One day, Michael returned to the office building where he had worked as a janitor. Only this time, he wasn't wearing a blue uniform. He walked in wearing a suit, confident, calm, successful. Some of the same employees who had ignored him stared in disbelief. Wait, isn't that Michael? The janitor? What happened? What happened? He refused to quit. That's what happened. He kept learning when nobody was watching. He kept saving when nobody understood. He kept working when nobody applauded. He kept believing when nobody believed in him. Years later, Michael was invited to speak at an event. Someone in the audience asked him, "What was the secret to your success?" The room became silent. Michael smiled. Then he said, "There was no secret. I simply did small things consistently. I learned every day. I spent less than I earned. I invested patiently. I treated people with respect. And I never allowed my current circumstances to define my future." Then he added, "People often overestimate what they can do in 1 year and underestimate what they can do in 10. You don't have to change your life overnight. You only have to improve a little each day." Think about that. How many dreams have people abandoned because progress felt too slow? How many goals have been buried under excuses? How many people quit simply because success didn't happen immediately? Michael's life teaches us something powerful. Your starting point doesn't determine your ending. Your job title doesn't define your worth. Your current situation isn't your final destination. What matters is what you choose to do next. Will you learn? Will you save? Will you grow? Will you continue when it's difficult? Maybe you're listening to this while working a job you don't love. Maybe people underestimate you. Maybe you've made mistakes. Maybe you feel like you're behind in life. If that's you, remember Michael, the janitor everyone ignored, the man who quietly built a better future, the man who chose discipline over excuses, consistency over comfort, growth over fear. He didn't become rich overnight. He became rich through thousands of ordinary decisions repeated over time. And if he could change his story, Maybe you can change yours too. Never be ashamed of honest work. Be ashamed only of giving up on your potential. Start where you are. Use what you have. Learn what you can. Take one small step today, then another tomorrow. Because one day, people will look at your success and call you lucky. But you'll remember the early mornings, the sacrifices, the discipline, the moments when nobody believed in you. And you'll smile, because you'll know the truth. You didn't get lucky. You simply refused to quit. Remember this: your job pays your bills today, but your habits build your future tomorrow. And sometimes, the janitor becomes the richest person in the room.